How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. In today's video, yet again, I'll be testing out Cyberpunk 2077, but this time with the AMD RX 470 4GB version, both on 720p and 1080p resolution. Now, before I go on with this video, I do ask you for a small favor. Please go ahead and hit the like button down below right now. It really helps to grow the channel. Also, if you're looking for the most accurate FPS benchmarks on the latest games, then you come to the right place, so please do consider subscribing. Now, let's get right to it. So I'll be starting off with the 1080p full screen, lowest preset at 100% full scale resolution, and I am using the latest patch version 1.06 at this time. And this is what I have. Now, this is the same system I'm using to test out all the other older NVIDIA cards, and now I'm doing the AMD ones. This is the second one on my list. So I have the i7-8700K running at 5 GHz, also 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM running at 3600 megahertz. The RX 470 is slightly overclocked by 100 megs on the core and 100 megs on the memory clock. And it's running really stable, and I'm very happy with its performance. As you could see, we're averaging in the low 40s. Very nice on low preset here. The game is definitely playable on 1080p. I'm very happy with the results. Just to show you how well the RX 470 is still holding in today's modern games. Now, your results may vary, depends on the version of the 470. You may have the 8GB version, which is, I would assume, will get you a couple of more FPS. It also depends on the version too. This particular one here is the lower end one, comes with only one fan and requires just a 6-pin power connection. I would assume the more of the beefier versions that would require more power would perform slightly better. And of course, if you're more successful at a higher overclock, then you could expect a little bit more FPS as well. But for now, I am quite happy with these results. So let's jump into the medium settings. So we are now on medium preset, and we are in mid to high 30s, looks like here, or more like mid to low 30s. The game is still running smooth. It's looking a lot better visually now. And from my previous test, I could tell that the medium preset on 1080p would be your best choice. Graphics, quality to performance will let you stay around 30 FPS on average and still enjoy the visuals. And also, I did mention in my previous videos that so far, no matter which patch I'm using, from day one of this game, there's zero performance boost to any of the graphics cards out there. Absolutely zero. The only difference is, it looks like they fixed the bugs and the glitches, but I'm not getting any additional FPS performance on any of the graphics cards so far. Alright, let's jump into the next setting here, high. Always have your motion blur turned off. Okay. Alright, so now I'm noticing stutter and lag. On high settings. And I would think that if you have a better version of the RX 470, you should be able to average around 30 FPS if everything is done right with a nice overclock. but in this case I would not recommend here high settings, as now the game is quite slow and stuttery. But it is playable. Okay, so let's wrap it up with the ultra settings, just to see how low the FPS is. Once again, motion blur off. Alright, so what do we got here? Yeah, so now we're going to be in our low 20s. Visually, the game looks really nice on ultra settings. But would not be too enjoyable to play at such low FPS.
No, I'm just fine. Thanks.
Alright, so there you have the 1080p. Now let's jump into the 720p. Okay, now we're finally at 60 FPS. That's what it takes to run this game around 60 FPS on average. With this card, low preset 720p, and yes, it's on full scale 100% resolution. And you'll notice in all my videos, I never do change the 100% scale resolution. I never lower it to like 70, 80. I see a lot of people are doing that just to make the game playable. At least with the cards I'm using, every card I was able to achieve that at 100% full scale. So very nice to be able to get 60 FPS at least on 720p. Okay, let's see. Next we have medium. Medium preset. Still looking good here. Wow, look at that. We're averaging mid 50s or so. Low to mid 50s, depends on the area. Okay, let's jump into the high settings. Motion blur off. Still good. Still in the 40s. And that's pretty amazing on high settings. Game looks good. Plays well.
Help, police!
Okay, let's wrap it up with the ultra settings. Once again, always motion blur off. So with this card, you do have quite a bit options on 720p and 1080p. So I would say that the best setting to use will be high settings on 720p. Quality to performance will be your best setting. And on 1080p would be the medium preset. And you could enjoy this game. That's right, with this old card here. So yeah, that concludes the test. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.